Today, I want to talk about luck. This is a concept that I think a lot of people misunderstand or put too much importance on when it comes to the viability for how likely it is that you're going to actually create full-time income, especially from TV film sync licensing. This is coming from a few comments I've gotten over the years, but definitely one that just occurred the other day on my Facebook page. And it was somebody basically saying, these are some interesting points you're putting out there, Jesse, but the one thing you're not talking about at all or emphasizing is how much luck has to do with your success and how big a role luck plays in whether or not this is going to be your full-time job. So a couple of things sort of go through me when I see these kind of comments, and it's not the first time I've gotten it. The first thing is the sort of, I kind of feel bad for the person saying it because it basically shows a sort of misconception they have about success and about how to actually succeed with their music. And why I feel bad for them is because they're basically limiting their potential because they have this myth about success, about how to make full-time income with their music. And they really do believe in some ways, or in like literal sense, that it's really just about hitting a lottery ticket, hitting the winning lottery ticket. That's the only way that you're going to succeed with music, especially with music licensing, is you just have to have the right placement at the right time, with the right library. And it's such a small number of people that actually are able to do that it's kind of like, well, if this is something that's completely out of our control, why even go for it, right? Because it's all about luck. So that's one thing that I don't like to see, is because it shows a sort of limiting belief factor for somebody that will sort of limit them or maybe prevent them from putting a lot of effort into their career because they believe most of their success is out of their control. And so they have really nothing they can do about it. That's one thing. The other thing is it's a little insulting to be told after spending 11 years in my home studio cranking out track after track, thousands of tracks at this point. I'll link below to my BMI repertoire so you can see how busy I've been. To be told after all this work, all this effort, all this doubling down on my own career, constantly supplying music libraries, constantly facing rejection, constantly getting disappointing royalty checks, but pushing through all of that, to be told, well, you just got lucky, Jesse. I mean, you just basically for the last 11 years, you've just been on the most incredible hot streak ever, right? Every single day, you just happen to be at the right place at the right time, and your tracks just happen to get placed over and over and over again, right? It's just, you're literally just like the luckiest person on earth, right? And the only people that are succeeding in this are the same way. Like they happen to be the ones that hit those winning lottery tickets every single day, right? You guys can see this. It's so silly. It's so ridiculous. And it's kind of insulting for people that really do work hard at their craft and really make a living from their hard work and from their persistence and consistency. Anybody that does sync licensing, even part-time or even up to full-time, will absolutely agree with me here that for somebody to tell them, well, you just got lucky, right? It really just, it's like them chopping down and neglecting all the hard work that you put into it. And I know you guys that are working really hard in this industry to make sync licensing your full-time career understand that you're not relying on luck, and you don't believe that. So I know that it's a small minority of you following this channel, but I know that there are new people pretty much every day that are finding out about sync licensing, and there are a lot of people that have misconceptions just about how to succeed with music, especially with licensing. And this is one of those big myths that are out there, and I would like to aggressively pop that bubble for you guys today if you have that myth, okay? So does luck play a role in sync licensing, and has it played a role in my career? 100%, okay? Let's put that out there. I've absolutely, in a few situations, for particular placements, okay, we're going to talk about particular individual placements, individual opportunities, where my track was the right track for this one client at this time. And so those three factors lined up perfectly, the stars aligned, and I got some big opportunities. Or in other circumstances, somebody had been referred to me, right? And out of the blue, I'd never met them before, called me up, hit me up, found my website and said, hey, I want to hire you for this national campaign, this national advertising campaign, or other gigs that I've done as well. So out of the blue, I get this custom gig that I didn't have to compete with other composers for. I didn't have to go pitch my music to, really. They came and sought me out. And so in those circumstances, you could say, well, that was sort of lucky that somebody came to me. But, you know, what's going on behind the scenes of all that kind of stuff? Well, I have a reputation. I have a name in this industry. I have a brand, right? We've talked about that. I just released that video last week on this channel. I have a brand that I aggressively protect. Make sure that people understand that if you hire me, you'll get what you paid for, and you'll get probably more than what you paid for. And I'm going to deliver it to you on time, if not earlier than what you wanted, okay? So is that all luck, all of those things? Is that just a lucky sort of scenario? No, that's work, right? That's just persistence. That's just showing up and delivering every single time, right? And you consistently do that. And so what happens is these quote unquote lucky scenarios and situations just start to land in your lap, right? Gigs just start to get offered. You start getting phone calls, you start getting emails, you start getting invitations to work with people you've never met before, but that's because you've got a very strong reputation out there for consistency and high quality, okay? So when it comes down to the individual placements, absolutely. Like if you're shooting for an opportunity, it's paying, 6 figures, but there's 50 different composers shooting for it. Certainly there's going to be an element of luck there because you might hit the brief perfectly. You might give them exactly what they outlined for you. They gave you a reference track. You mimic that as close as you can without stealing it, ripping it off. It's staying in its own lane, but it's really following in the spirit of what they said. You followed all their guidelines. You followed every direction. You got it on time. Maybe you even submitted 2 tracks when they were only looking for 1. But at the end of the day, there's a subjective judgment that goes on with the client. And the client just clicks play, and whatever their ears really attract to, that's usually what they go for. What's really sort of for them delivering the exact emotional tone of the piece that they want, that's what it goes for. So that's one of those things where, yeah, it's not objective, right? There's definitely a subjective taste factor going on there. And so that's certainly where some luck can go in your favor, or it can work against you. Here's the thing though. If you don't get that custom cue, okay, you can either take your ball and run home and say, well, I guess I wasn't lucky, and yep, it is all about luck, and I guess there's no point in even working hard in this business because it doesn't matter how hard or how closely I follow these briefs. Somebody else could possibly just, they could just like something else better, and why even try, right? So that's what somebody who believes in luck would probably do, okay? I believe you make your own luck, right? And by luck, I just mean probabilities. You just increase your chances of getting placements in this business by, when you get custom opportunities like that, and you know that there's going to be an element of luck of whether or not you're actually going to get it before you even work on that track. I'm way before you submit it. I mean, even before you open your DAW and start composing. Think about mentally and prepare for what you're going to do if you don't get that gig, if you don't get the placement, if luck doesn't work out in your favor, okay? Are you going to quit? Are you going to be bummed out? Is it going to be the worst day of your life? Okay. Or maybe you can think about, this is kind of an interesting new genre. I'm interested in trying this out. If I compose 2 or 3 tracks for this opportunity and none of them get placed, well, I'm basically almost a quarter or maybe a quarter of the way through a full album that I can put together and then pitch to a music library, either one that I'm working with now, or I can continue on and pitch to a new library to start basically submitting to a couple of different libraries, right? And have a couple that I'm working with. So that's what a professional does, okay? They don't rely on luck. They don't depend on it. And then they're realistic about it. They'll understand that there's going to be an element of like this particular placement, there's a few other people or a lot of people submitting to it as well. But what do I do as a professional to make sure that this isn't my end-all be-all? That if I don't get this gig, I get really bummed out and depressed and think that like, oh, it's just all about luck and there's no hope for me, right? So that's what I really want to get across here, is that by following sort of what I've called my big number strategy, by increasing the amount of tracks you have out there circulating with high quality libraries, right? They have to be high quality tracks as well. But by increasing your numbers and by consistently cranking out high quality music and protecting your brand by delivering on time, all that good stuff, right? You will suddenly see that you will get more lucky as time goes on. Okay, that's what I think people are mistitling luck. I call it brand loyalty. Okay, this is what's going to happen to you when people see you as a strong player in the industry, is they will want to reach out to you and continuously keep hiring you. Okay, this is how all successful businesses are built, by word of mouth and by great customer service and service generally, right? And you're doing the same thing in this business. You're providing a service, and it's customer service in many ways, but you're an independent freelancer supplying high quality music for TV, film, radio, video games, streaming services, right? So you provide high quality service to them, which means your music is high quality and licensable. and you're delivering on time, you have great customer service. So if they have a question like, hey, can you switch this out? Can you change this in your track? And you're instantly like, absolutely, let's go ahead and do that. You're available for those kind of changes, right? That's what the customer service part is. They'll come back. They'll tell their friends about it. They'll tell their colleagues about it. There are conferences and get-togethers in this industry where high-quality producers and composers are definitely. Sometimes libraries want to keep them a secret because they don't want them to work with other people. But your name, trust me, will get spread around. It's a big industry, but in many ways, it's a tiny, small, little industry. Okay, and everybody kind of knows everybody, or at least has heard of other people. And so this is how your luck, quote unquote, will start to improve, and your chances will improve over the years, okay? So if that has been a limiting belief for you to feel that like I've just been sitting here getting lucky, I've been on the most unbelievable hot streak of my life for the last 11 years, I hope that that's busted now, and that's not at all what it is. On the individual placements, definitely there's an element of luck. But when you look at my royalty statement, it is, thousands of placements, okay? Some of them are big, some of them are really substantial and in the thousands. A lot of them are $10, $5, 4 cents. I mean, I have the entire range. I've actually have some videos. I'll link to them below, showing you guys a portion of my royalty statement to show you this incredible range of large to small that you can possibly get. And it's bigger and smaller than that. So I don't see it that way. I don't see this as constantly getting lucky. I see this as persistently and consistently serving a marketplace with my talents and with my efforts. That's what I'm doing, okay? And you can absolutely do the same thing. So don't let that get in your way anymore, and please just go for it. Just go 100% double down and serve the crap out of your library partners, and don't worry about the luck factor, because that is one of those things, you can't control all of those things in life, in any industry, in anything about life, right? But what you can control is how you operate, how you behave, and what your workflow is going to be. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out great videos every single week, twice a week, so please do subscribe. You'll get those videos as soon as they get released. And you have to, of course, hit the notification bell. Is it this side? I think it's this side. Hit that notification bell. So if I go live, I do live Q&As, which I do on this channel, or put out videos like this, you'll be the first to know about it. So do hit that bell.